Greetings and welcome to the Beers and Bodyslams podcast. Sitting across from me, he is the smoke ring to my brisket, Mr. Fluffy.
Oh, Mr. I ate barbecue before I came here.
Inspiration.
And sitting across from me, he is the bacon in my beans. Good old JB.
Well, we were back from a 2-week hiatus.
Yeah, we were off last week.
We got a lot to talk about this week. We have a great show lined up for you guys. Unfortunately, we're down a man this week. So it is just myself and Mr. Fluffy holding down the fort while the Irish O'Leary tries to recover from his wounds. Hopefully he's back next week. Wish you a speedy recovery, sir.
That's right, buddy.
We got a lot to cover. We got a pay-per-view to talk about. Hell in a Cell, we'll recap that. Raw and Smackdown of this week, and there's a lot of news going on outside of the ring. And also, we're going to pick another pay-per-view this week, TLC. Got a great show, a great beer for you guys.
That's right.
That we're going to talk about, and so much more when we come right
back.
Awesome! This is the Beers and Bodyslams podcast.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
With your host, Mr. Fluffy.
Hello, ladies.
Good old JB.
Booty-O's! They make sure you ain't booty.
And the Irish O'Leary.
There's only one word to describe you, and I'm gonna spell it out for you. A-A-W-S-T!
This is the only podcast bringing you craft beer and pro wrestling that really matters.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, E-Generation X proudly brings to you its WWF Tag Team Champion of the World, the Road Dogg, Jesse James, the Badass Billy Gunn, the new.
And that's the bottom line, the Stone Cold said so.
All right, Fluffy, what do you got for us to drink today?
Right. I'm very proud of this beer. I'm from Massachusetts.
Yes.
I'm proud to be from there. And a new brewery that my brother introduced me to when I was up there a couple times called Jack's Abbey in Framingham, Massachusetts, has now made its way to Florida. They've got several different beers available, which means I know they're probably up and down the East Coast and probably spreading across. I went for one of their special beers. This is called their Framinghammer series, which is their special brews. This is their coffee bourbon barrel aged. It is really good. It's a Baltic porter. It is good.
I'm a big fan of this. My first time having anything from this brewery, actually. I'm always good for a good coffee porter, stout. This is really good, really smooth. Definitely get the coffee. It's not too strong, overbearing.
No.
It goes down really smooth.
It's 10% alcohol, by the way.
You don't taste it?
No, it's not liquory like a lot of the barrel aged stuff is.
Exactly.
It's
really smooth, really good.
Really, really enjoyable. What I like about it is it's smooth, nice and coffee flavor. It's a good, I don't want to call it a dessert beer, but it'd be good with like ice cream or something like that. Like it's got that sweetness to it.
A float.
It's got,
like an adult float.
Yeah.
It'd be great for that.
That'd be really good. You're right.
Yeah, like some chocolate cake for like dessert or something.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Oh, it's really good. But yeah, if you can find Jack's Abbey in your area, I highly recommend. I guarantee you this will not be the last time you're on the show.
I look forward to trying many more beers from them.
Yeah, I had their Oktoberfest when I bought this, and it was really good. And I plan on buying some of their more basic beers so that I can try those. Like not basic beers, but they're more regular, normal brews. Yeah, they're normal beers because we'll bring those on too because I like the idea of, again, as craft breweries are spreading out, I always want to support them, especially hometown ones like that.
Exactly.
This is awesome. So I'm sure we'll talk more about it. I don't think it'll last very long. It's a good beer, though. I enjoy it a lot.
It really is. Good choice.
All right. Thank you very much. So we got lots to talk about. Before we get into the news, we'll talk a little bit about Hell in a Cell real fast because we did miss our recap of that.
Yes.
Irish was the winner. The summer of Fluffy ended with the fall.
Yes, we have a new champion.
We have a new champion. He will take the crown from there. But it was an okay pay-per-view. I'm not going to say it was great. It had its moments. the Usos winning, I picked them. It was a good match. The two Hell in a Cell matches, I think, by far were the best two matches.
Clearly. That's how it was set up for it.
Yeah, everything else was fluff beyond that. Even the
no
gender,
pun intended.
Yeah, well, I'm saying even the Rude Ziggler match was okay. It wasn't great. Neither guy I felt.
I'll get into that when we talk about SmackDown. But I don't like the way they're booking Rude already.
Yeah, but the Shane KO match lived up to its potential, and it was just a pound.
Yeah. And
then we got what I've been talking about for a while. I've said it a couple times. Sami Zayn heel turn.
Yeah.
And I think this is, and we'll talk more when we get into SmackDown.
Yeah.
Because last week's SmackDown, which we missed talking about, he was I don't want to say he was on the fence.
Yeah.
But this week's, it was a full on.
Yeah.
He put the hammer down all the way.
Yeah.
But I like how they did it. I like the idea. And some of the controversy that came out of this, though, was Shane's taking some flack from some people.
Yeah.
Multiple people now saying he doesn't need to take these risks.
A lot of the older performers, I don't know why, though. Like, I don't know if they feel like he's taking a spotlight away from current talent, or if they just don't feel like his character should be doing these matches.
I think that's what it is. I think they don't like the fact that he's getting the big spots. Yeah. That's what it is.
But I mean, how many people do you really want doing that are weekly performers?
Yeah, no,
I mean, at least if he does it, he has time to recover because he's not an active wrestler. You know what I mean? So I would prefer him do it. God forbid he were to, hurt something. At least he's not dependent upon week in and week out.
He's been gone for 2 weeks, and you've missed him, but you haven't missed him.
Exactly. But his character can afford to miss.
Exactly. I agree with you.
So I don't have a problem with it, but I don't, a lot of the older vets are up in arms for no reason.
But he's, though, I don't think he doesn't deserve it, though, because this has always been his MO. I mean, he has taken the crazy bumps. Yep. He's, beyond his leaps off the cage before, I always go back to the Kurt Angle Shane McMahon match when you visibly watch Shane tell him, keep throwing me.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even a planned brutal spot. It just sort of happened.
Yeah.
But that's just sort of Shane's MO of I'll take the big hit. I'll take the abuse.
He puts his body on the line for all of his matches.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like I said, he's not out there traveling the roads and, doing house shows, 4 days a week. So, he jumps off a cage and hurts his back. He doesn't have a belt or, he's not in a storyline per se, so he can miss a couple of weeks. So I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, it was.
Guys are just too uptight.
Yeah, I also think it's that they just feel like it's. I think Shane takes an unnecessary abuse for the whole. He's the son of the owner. I hate to say it. If Shane wasn't Vince's son and he was just a straight wrestler,
he could get over.
He could get over.
Own.
He doesn't need the McMahon name. If when Shane first came out, if he was Shane, McDilly, and just came out as a wrestler, and we never knew he was Vince's son, and he could have easily been a wrestler. You can see it in him. He's really good at performing.
If you don't think he's over, watch the YouTube video of his when he first came back to WWE that Monday Night Raw.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
He gets more pops as a GM than most of the talent on the roster. Now, if he couldn't perform, they wouldn't continually put him in these big storylines.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So,
I completely agree with you.
People just left complaining.
But we'll get into that. But the big news going on right now.
Couple things
is the walkouts. We've had two major talents. One we know for sure. And one
been quote unquote 100% done with
which would be Neville. Yep. And then we had Nia, who supposedly walked out last week, but now has been granted a leave of absence, which I'm assuming means they basically said we're not going to release you, but we'll give you time to think about what you want to do.
Yeah.
And this is where we'll billboard our Monday show. You and I are going to talk about what's causing this, but we can talk a little bit about it here. But I don't want to get too deep into it. But it's interesting that Neville, a guy that was just the greatest cruiserweight champion they've ever had.
There's your problem, though.
And walked out.
He doesn't want to be a cruiserweight.
He wants to be on the main roster.
He feels like, he had to settle for that spot.
I agree.
Because they didn't view him as a top-tier performer when in his mind, I was NXT champion.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't a cruiserweight then.
No, he wasn't.
So why can't you use me in that same capacity? And I know from what I've read, a lot of the frustration started when they left his match off the WrestleMania DVD.
Yeah.
Which means he didn't get paid for that.
Oh yeah, and he didn't get paid for that one.
So that kind of started the ball rolling with his frustration, and apparently just hasn't been happy ever since. But we'll get into it, deeper. But for him, I can totally see where he's coming from. He doesn't want to be a cruiserweight. He handled it. At least give the man something, for sacrificing for the betterment of the company. Yeah, so it's very Bush League how they left him off the DVD. So, I can understand his frustration, and frankly, he doesn't feel appreciated.
No, he doesn't feel appreciated, and I completely get it too. And it's, and we're gonna talk about more on Monday. It's what we would call it the Cody Rhodes effects. I think these guys are seeing it. Austin Aries, and now the rumor is that Nia's walked out. That she walked out last Monday. This happened really last Monday, and that she wasn't on the show at all this week, and that was the point of it, that she wasn't even there.
It's the worst possible time for that to happen with Asuka coming in.
Oh yeah, they need her.
If they ever needed a credible opponent for Asuka, it would have been Nia, and they totally dropped the ball in the way that they've booked her.
Oh, totally. I agree with you.
She should have been built as the biggest monster on the women's roster.
Yeah.
To kind of lead towards that WrestleMania match with her and Asuka.
Wow, the beer just keeps showing up. I am just flailing it. Jax Abbey's like, no, you hear me talk.
You hear my voice.
You hear my voice.
But
it's sad though. Anyway, so we're gonna get more into it on Monday. We'll talk about it, what's causing it, the talent, and honestly, on Monday I want to talk about the guys that have already walked out and who could we see doing the same thing, because there's tons of rumors out there for other guys. So we'll kind of make a list of people that we think that could benefit from it.
Yeah.
People that if they do it, it's stupid. So we'll talk about more on Monday, and we'll talk about more on the show. But before we get into Raw and SmackDown, anything else you want to talk about before we get into that?
No, I mean, it's an interesting time right now.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's a weird
in the world of WWE.
Yeah, I thought we'd be more. I thought we'd be more solidified by now.
Yeah, it seems like there's more uncertainty
going into Survivor
they've had
Series.
the brand split.
Yeah,
and you would have thought that would have created more opportunities, but it hasn't.
Especially heading into Survivor Series. I figured, because I always look at it this way: Survivor Series isn't obviously it's not the road to WrestleMania, but usually that
closes out the year.
It closes out the year. It's the last major you share.
Yeah.
And usually it starts to set up ideas of where you're going and because once January hits, you're on the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly.
You hit November. December is usually a down month
anyways. They kind of have time off, so they really don't go hard.
Exactly. So usually Survivor Series is that big push at the end, and I don't right now I'm not feeling it, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But we'll go ahead and talk about Raw. I got to admit, I did pop in my living room a little bit. With the old school Shield entrance.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, this is one thing I will give them kudos for. They went full old school. It wasn't like they're wearing they have new t-shirts. You notice they have a new Shield t-shirt with each of their fists, it's each of their individual symbols.
Yeah.
No, they went back to the original black. So far back that was the original. Remember they had a second set later on their names and stuff on it. That was first. I love the idea that they came out that way. Now, Kurt Angle did screw it up. Because he talked over it. You notice that when the first thing started, he was still talking, and in the back they're like, "Shut up, shut up."
I don't know if he could hear the.
I don't think he could either.
The CB part.
Yeah,
but I don't think if he can hear that. But
the Sierra, Yeah, he talked over it a little bit.
Yeah, they why didn't they come out with the tag titles? I don't understand that.
I think they're building the idea that this wasn't about the belts. Because going into Survivor Series,
they make them carry the damn thing through the airport.
I know.
I need you to come to the ring with your titles around your waist.
I know, because they used to carry them down when they were tag team champions.
Because at first I thought, did I miss something? Did they lose the belts or something?
No. I know we were off for a week. No, I agree with you. It was weird they didn't have them with them. Yeah. They at least should have had them on their shoulders or something like that. But it was kind of weird.
But I marked out, man, when they got back together. I know this is not for the long term, but I'm enjoying the run. Hopefully, I'm all about building up other talent. So hopefully, unfortunately, Bo is going to be left out. So
Bo and Curtis.
Yeah. So they're missing an opportunity. here to at least get them involved in this somehow for them to get a rub off of it. But
the one thing I did
understand Kane coming back.
Well, we'll talk about the end. Yeah. We'll get through the show. That's the end, and it's its own topic in itself. But I like the conversation they had. I like how they're all like, if you're in your yard. And I love the whole Seth goes, and one day it just went away, and then there was a pause, and they both looked at him like, yeah, dumbass, because you did it.
I know, right?
And then moved on. Like
he's like, well,
like that scripted with, again, this is where sometimes I give the writers tons of credit. That was a perfect script. To have Seth be the one that goes, well, and one day it went away, and everybody kind of look at him like, well, let's see, my back still hurts from that one. And your back still hurts, but. It was interesting to watch.
Dean looks so happy to actually have this reunion because he was floundering so bad by himself.
Yeah.
For him to get back with Rollins as a tag team and then the Shield, it looks like he feels comfortable. He's back in his element.
Well, I've always thought he's a great tag team wrestler. And even I think even with him and Seth, you could see it, that he's much more comfortable with somebody.
Yeah.
He's great sort of on his own, but he's really good in a team. And when this does eventually go away, I would like to see them put him with somebody. Like, make him a tag team with somebody. I don't know who the hell you're going to put him with.
But he plays a loner gimmick.
Yeah.
Kind of, not exactly, but Stone Cold-ish.
Put him with Elias. Let it be the drifter and the loner.
That could do something there.
Actually, that would actually work. Because
we're gonna, a nice little team there.
Yeah. Because we're going to talk about him next.
Yeah. That's actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah, that is. I like that. Because they have different styles.
Yeah.
They have different ways of
But
doing promos.
They have a physical style. And
you can still have Elias do the guitar part where he'd come out there and Dean just sort of be there. And Dean could just sort of, that would actually kind of,
not a bad idea.
Do it. But Elias had, actually, I like the Elias in the club this week.
Yeah. I'm growing on Elias though.
I loved Elias when he came up.
He's growing on me.
And he made the club look cool. They actually look good together.
They did actually.
Like I'm thinking again, this is where I want like either the Bullet Club or some version of that.
Yeah.
Like I could see, because the Bullet Club was built on the idea of individuals as a group, which was the NWO was the idea.
Yeah.
It was never a group as in we need each other. It was always individual personalities that just happen to link together.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it going, you do Elias in the club in either AJ or Finn Balor or something like that. That would be a formidable little team that you could build around, because the club needs something.
They in the WWE, they need to be booked as cool, quote unquote, cool heels.
I love them singing Honky Tonk Man though. That was awesome.
I know Irish isn't a fan of the comedy skits. But I think that they can get over as cool heels, a la Hall and Nash. Yeah. They need to be booked that way, because they have the revival when they eventually come back as the no flips, just fist.
Yeah, the kick ass heel,
gimmick.
the brutal
So
heels.
they need to transition them into more of an entertainment cool heel type gimmick, and I like Elias is a good pairing with them. And like I said, maybe a club reunion. Yeah, it probably needs to happen sooner rather than later. But
okay, I'll give you a group. I'll give you a fivesome right now. Literally, I'll give you a fivesome. The Club, Elias, Dean Ambrose, and AJ Styles.
I don't know about AJ.
I don't think Finn fits in anymore.
He doesn't, but
if you put AJ in there,
AJ doesn't need that.
AJ doesn't,
unless you're going to turn him heel.
No, this is what you say. He doesn't need it. But you make him the leader. This is the difference is.
That gives them credibility.
Exactly. He doesn't need it, but you make him the alpha dog. Sort of like they did with Hogan. And not that the outsiders need it either, but those three were the head. And everybody that got connected around them got better. So you make AJ the head as in I am the leader. He takes the Kenny Omega, or the AJ used to be the leader of the Bullet Club anyways.
Yeah.
I am the alpha. You guys falling behind me. And because you're with me, we're all going to be great together. And then you have the club as enforcers, and you have Elias and Dean just sort of being out there.
Bullies.
Yeah, and Dean can play his crazy lunatics idea. Elias gets to do the music and have fun with being in whatever version they call it. You have, that's like that fivesome would be a great little fivesome.
That'd be a dominant team if they were to do it. I don't know what they're doing.
They don't know what they're doing.
I really don't know. Speaking of Finn, we might as well transition.
All right, we might as well talk about. Oh my god!
Because he has to get out of this feud like ASAP.
Oh, well, I agree. when you're quoting Gaelic and Irish folklore to try to get any connection to a feud, you're in deep shit.
He's got to get out of this. This Sister Abigail is going to be very, very bad. I can already.
Oh, I'm not looking forward to this match.
I can already tell.
I love Finn Balor, and I love
this is not going to be
Wyatt.
good at all.
No.
He needs to get far. He needs to be Brock's next challenger. And they need to get him out of this feud tomorrow.
That, and I also don't like already, if this is the makeup they're going to use for the demon, what is it with the orange? Was it a Halloween? We're doing jack-o'-lantern?
Yeah.
The minute I saw it, I'm like, oh, really? Which means somebody went to him and went, hey, Finn, instead of doing your normal red and black that you usually do, hey, it's Halloween, buddy.
I'm hoping it was just a one-off deal.
I'm hoping so, too, but that was way too... Like, he looked like a freaking jack-o'-lantern. It was horrible.
Yeah.
And I would love to know, like, that's where I'd like to see video of the home crowd, because obviously it was a video where they zoomed in on him in the ring, then transition over. I'd love to see what it looked like in the ring, because clearly he just stood there for a minute and did nothing.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, what the hell is going on? So unless you were watching the video screen, you have no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this is not, this feud had such potential for both of them, and it has been so mismanaged. Much like every... Bray Wyatt.
You know what it is, though, with characters like this, with a Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt, Undertaker, Kane, characters like that need to talk less.
Yeah, I agree.
And it reminds me of, you remember when Sting was in WCW, when he became that Crow type character, where he just kind of sat in the rafters, or he wouldn't say much, but when he talked, it actually meant something. When you have novelty characters like that, the more they talk, the more they lose their luster.
I agree with you.
And so, like, if you got Finn out there just cutting promos and Bray talks every week, there's no mystique about them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, those are the type of characters that should just show up. You appear from nowhere. You fight. Every once in a while, you have something to say, and then the crowd, they hinge on your every word.
Yeah.
But now every week they're talking.
And it's the same promos
and it's like,
over
I'm a demon. It's like don't tell me, show me. You know what I mean? It's
I agree with
it's just for those type of characters, they should have less interview time.
Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, so we had a Miz TV. Kurt tells Miz to shut up, and that was the best moment he had. And this is my opinion I feel like Kurt's really uncomfortable right now. Every time he goes out in the ring, even being in the beginning segment with the Shield,
timing is off.
He
seems like still.
Exactly. I don't get it.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel natural.
And he never used to be like that.
No, and I don't get it. I don't understand why he just feels so uncomfortable out there.
I don't know if he's being fed every line or what it is, but this is a situation where he needs Stephanie McMahon to come back. And I know you guys aren't a fan of that.
No, but actually, I'm fine with it if it's used right.
He needs to play off of her because I think he's floundering a little bit in that role. I love him to death, but it's just like, he's better when he was being funny, when he was being instead of an authority figure, when he was more comical. Yeah, cracking jokes. Back then he was more loose, and it translated on screen better. Yeah. Right now he's trying to be the tough guy, authority figure, and it's just like it's not his timing is just a little off. I can't really put my finger on it, but he hasn't been right since he got back.
All right, so I want to talk about the Alicia Fox, Sasha Banks match, because of a couple different things. I don't want to talk about the match itself. The match itself was crap, but. It was crap. It was horrible. But there was a couple things that happened after and during. Number one, did you catch Corey's line at one point, which I think is the line of the week? He was talking about Emma. It had nothing to do with the match. That was the best part. He was talking about Emma winning the right to go place Asuka. And I think Michael Cole said, it's like winning the lottery. And Corey Graves throws a line out there like either he was fed it or he came up with it. It was brilliant. He goes, it's a lotto ticket that comes with an ambulance ride. I had to rewind it back to hear it again. That. Oh, no, he said it. He goes, I rewound it back to make sure I got the exact wording. And he goes, it's a lotto ticket that comes with an ambulance ride. And I'm like,
oh my gosh.
And then they went on, which means it wasn't fed to him. It was probably something he came up with and it wasn't in the script. I'm going,
I was about to say, that didn't sound like something fed.
How did you not, as Michael Cole, how did you not pick up on that? That is a great line to build off of that they should have used to build Asuka. But it was an awesome line.
Yeah.
Now, it wasn't a great match. It wasn't a bad match. But the attack backstage that Alicia Fox did on Sasha Banks, holy crap, that was brutal.
So she won't pull her weave out back there.
Oh, she was throwing. They were throwing each other. That was
she
brutal.
plays crazy really well, actually.
Yeah, she does. But that was a brutal attack. I loved every minute of it. Like that was just straight out mean.
She was a couple time Divas champion, right?
Yeah, she's been a couple times. Yeah.
She's actually not bad, but she doesn't get enough time to really get her. Her. She hasn't had a match, like a meaningful match, in I don't know how long.
No, she hasn't, and that's her problem.
It kind of So she's going to look rusty because she's not actually performing weekly like that.
Well, it's not even just rusty.
I think she can add to the depth that they gave her some time.
Oh, definitely.
But like I said, she plays crazy really well.
I'd like to see her go against Asuka and play up the idea.
Play that crazy?
Play up the crazy and play up the idea of if you're going to use her, you do use her as the idea of I've been here for almost a decade and you just showed up. Who the hell are you? And never go, excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm here. Like, just have her really play up that idea of just, like, I'm the veteran.
Yeah.
I've been here for, because I don't think they played it up enough either. I don't think they're using it on Mickey James, but I really think they could use it on Sasha, on
Alicia.
On Alicia, thank you. That the idea that she's been there forever.
She really has.
Remember, she came in with Edge as Edge's marriage counselor. That's how long she's been around.
Did she really?
That was her first role.
Wow.
She was the person that Edge cheated on.
That's right.
As her marriage counselor. That's how long she's been here. She's been there forever. And she's been pretty much steady. I don't think she's been released. She's
been there.
Been there.
She's from my hometown, actually.
Yeah, so she's been there a while.
She could do some things.
Yeah.
She probably needs to be moved to SmackDown.
She could do over there,
Yeah.
Then we had Dean and Seth defending their tag team titles versus The Bar. My opinion, that was the best match those four have ever had.
Yeah.
It was
really good.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And that includes matches where they won titles and pay-per-views. That match was insane.
They're used to each other now because they've had so many matches together.
It was
I think you're seeing that they're more comfortable in their spots.
It was really, really good. Like, I was really impressed with the way it rolled out and everything happened. I mean, you knew Dean and Seth were going to retain. There was no way around it.
Yeah, I'm going to need Cesaro not to talk with the mouthpiece in, though. That drives me crazy.
You don't want them to talk like this?
Like, and just don't even say anything.
Yeah.
Like, we know what the deal is.
Yeah.
You don't have to pretend like...
I wonder how long he has to wear that for.
He probably won't ever take that out again. If somebody pushed my teeth up in my forehead, I wouldn't even think about not wearing a mouthpiece.
All right, so let's talk about Curtis Axel. So Curtis Axel gives one of the weirdest prep talks I've ever heard, and then gets somehow sucker talked into going to find Roman Reigns. Now, what gets funny about it is we have that, and then we have, before we see what happens to him, we have The Miz asking where he is, and the Bar laughing about the fact that they sent them after Roman, and The Miz looking legitimately scared, like,
you did what?
What'd you do? Like, again, this is why The Miz is doing the best work ever, because you saw a look at his face like, you two idiots did. Oh, that's not going to go well.
He was like, I can't believe you did that.
And then we find him hung upside down in the back.
Oh, man. Talk about a character killer.
Oh, your dad would be
You can't recover from stuff like this, man.
Your dad and your grandfather would kick your ass.
Dude, you're hung upside down. Like, really? Yeah, there's no recovery from that.
Oh, no, that was so bad. That was so bad. And the fact that The Miz basically, and he said it, he goes, Curtis was never really our fifth member anyway. So you're admitting it. And where the hell is Bo?
Him and Bray have been out. I think there's some family issues or something going on. Because they both haven't been there.
Well, because Bray's been doing all. Yeah, you're right. Because Bray's been doing video packages.
I think there's
3
some
weeks.
family stuff they got time off or whatever.
Could be. You're right. Because Bray could have recorded that stuff easily.
Yeah, he hasn't been live in a couple weeks.
Yeah, you're right. He hasn't wrestled a match in a while.
No.
And I haven't heard him in house shows doing it. You're right. Yeah.
So they both are taking care of some stuff.
All right. So then we had our main event. We had Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns with one of the weirdest stipulations I've ever heard in a match. So if Roman wins, it goes to 3-on-3 and Strowman is out.
Yeah.
If Strowman wins, it becomes 5-on-3 because first it was Seth that opened his mouth and then Dean opened his mouth. It was what I expected. It was a slugfest in a cage.
Yep.
The Miz showed that clearly when he's ready to retire, he's just going to move into the broadcast booth because, God, he was good on the mic.
Or management. or like a ring manager.
Yeah, he's clearly
like
not going to
Paul Heyman guy or something.
that. Or I mean, he was great on the mic though. He was awesome.
He's definitely a talker.
He was
for
awesome.
Sure. Yeah.
But then we got the big thing. Kane comes back in the great. Okay, so you're not. I like how he came from under the ring.
Yeah, we've seen it before, but yeah.
But they shot it well. And that's
yeah,
where
they really did. Yeah,
because when the music played, and I was spoiled. I admit, when I watched Raw, I knew he'd come back because I accidentally spoiled myself. I hate when I do that. Oh, I hate the internet sometimes. So when his music played though, and he didn't come down, I'm like, well, I know he comes back. Where the hell is he? So I was looking for him. Then all of a sudden, when I didn't read the part, he came up from under the ring.
That was well done.
That was really well done.
I'm trying to understand why he's back.
Because he didn't get elected?
No, the election's not until next year.
All right, so fine then. Then he just wants the money.
I have to find out why he's back and like how long he's planning on being back, because I don't understand it if it's not full time or if he's not, what's the big pay. I actually read something that they may be setting up an Undertaker appearance
for
Survivor Series with him being involved and Roman being involved.
Well, again, Survivor Series where the Undertaker debuted the first time.
So they were saying that he may have an appearance there. This may tie into that. So
could pull him in. I mean, it was nice to see him back. We're fully back to the whole dark evil masked Kane. I kind of enjoy that.
It's like I'm happy for him, but that character's run its course.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens at TLC. But I mean, overall, Raw wasn't horrible.
It wasn't a great go-home show, though.
No, but the thing is, I was going to make this comment.
For the main event withstanding, it wasn't the greatest go-home show.
They don't do good go-home shows anymore. Every time we have a go-home show, SmackDown 2 weeks ago was horrendous.
I take that back. Two good match, the tag team match, and then the main event were good. Rollins and Dean, and then. But that all involved the main event. The main event. There was no build-up around that. There was no build-up beyond that. They haven't done that in years.
Yeah, the go-home shows have become very, very disappointing. Where they used to be, it's now actually, it's not the go-home show, it's the show before the go-home show that is good, and the go-home shows always suck. And this is where I think they're making their mistakes. The go-home show used to be where you would unleash the last few of your matches.
Yeah.
We knew every match going into Raw. Yeah. There's no shock. Like, this should have been where Mickie James wrestled somebody to win the right to fight. Like, she was fighting the whole time to fight Bliss, but then this is where she's like...
Well, I don't understand why they did. I mean, you got to build up the anticipation, so you can't really book it the night before.
But I'm just picking anything. Or this could have been where maybe, Finn didn't accept Sister Abigail's challenge until Raw.
Something like that.
Like on Raw, he finally goes, you know what, fine, I'm tired of this. If you wanted me to TLC, but we already knew it was coming.
But then you got to have Bray torture him.
Yeah.
So he's got to be doing something to him to provoke him.
And that's fine.
Yeah, but like if you're going to bring out the demon, you got to provoke him almost like the Incredible Hulk. You know what I mean? You got to push him to that point to where he's breaking. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that I think that's how they should book that demon character. Oh yeah. Don't just flip a switch and say I'm going to turn into the demon. Like,
well, it should be title matches or you're provoked.
Well, no, yeah. Somebody has to really get to him, to his dark, quote unquote, dark side to bring that out of him, and they don't book him that way.
Well, in NXT, the way it was used in NXT, and the way he's used it before is it was either that, or it was especially for him winning a title. It was the idea is he would kick into a different gear, sort of like the Super Bowl gear, the championship gear, to win the whole thing. And that's when the demon would come out. It's, you're not wrestling Finn Balor, you're wrestling the demon, so you better bring your A game.
Yeah.
So, but it's, it was a go-home show. Before we move on to SmackDown, I once again want to thank Jack's Abbey for your Framinghammer Coffee Bourbon Barrel-Aged Baltic Porter. This is really good beer.
Yeah, it is. Almost done.
Mine's gone, so I'll just tell you that. Mine's gone. So if you find Jack Abbey's in your area, definitely check it out. All right, so on to SmackDown Live. Oh, SmackDown. So, okay, so the opening segment was Daniel Bryan coming out and, sort of being, out there. I don't like the easy shots at Daniel Bryan. We've used this line before, the whole, you can't wrestle no more. You start to
I wonder if they're setting up something.
Well, yeah, he's going to leave. That's what they're setting up.
I wonder if he's going to have one match with one of them before he leaves, though.
I would like to see that. But
because once he's on his way out the door, they probably really don't care.
Yeah, I do like how Sammy blamed the WWF Universe for not supporting him for the reason he turned heel.
That's kind of like the standard, though.
Yeah, but I kind of liked the way they did it, though. Basically saying I could be you, but no one liked me enough to be you, as in Daniel.
I liked it better when he would blame them. You know, we came in the same time. You know, I was doing my thing. I can never get over the hump. You guys never really gave me a shot.
Yeah.
I like that angle better than the fans because that's just, to me, it seems like just a cheap way to get heat. But he actually had a credible argument. You and Shane, you never really gave me an opportunity. You know,
I was Mr. Nice Guy,
and then he said Shane blew me off, and I tried to talk to him before Hell in a Cell.
Yep.
You know, this, that, and the other. So that kind of was more credible than him saying, "Oh, the fans, you know, you were never really supporting me." Blah blah. I mean, I'm not really a fan of that one, but I don't know how he's gonna. It's good that he's paired with Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
But actually, with them. That's my tag team right there.
Oh no, I think they're going to go for the tag team title.
That's
eventually.
my tag team right there. They would be great.
Against the Usos,
whoever
against anybody. They would be
great because the Usos now they seem like they're kind of tweeners.
Oh yeah, the Usos can go either way, and New Day could technically go either way either.
Yeah, but like when they called out New Day and they were kind of like giving props to him and everything, it seems like they were kind of like on the fence. But I think Owens and Sammy would be a great tag team.
Oh, I agree with you.
And because AJ is clearly going up the ladder.
Oh yeah, he's the next
KO.
contender.
I don't want him floundering. At least have him in the title picture of some sort. Yeah.
But I think, and it's a great. I feel like if you watch KO's face, he always had confidence, but he's got a swagger now that he's got Sammy sort of by him again that he had before when Sammy was kind of near him before. Not that he needs Sammy, but you can tell he's more comfortable having him with him.
Imagine two guys. Well, first of all, now they get to travel together. Now that they're on screen, because if they were enemies, they wouldn't be allowed to travel together, because they had to play into that storyline.
Yeah,
but now they get to travel together, and then who would know each other better than them in the ring?
Oh, nobody.
As a tag team,
yeah, they know each other backwards and forwards.
The work they could do as a tag team would be incredible, and they desperately need them to be a tag team in that division right now.
I will say though, the one shot that took at Daniel that I liked, that I felt landed really well.
Mr. Bella.
Well, Mr. Bella, or the idea that you sold out. You became everything you hated.
The establishment.
Yep. You are the authority. Yep. I was like, oh, that
kind of got you with that one.
You got it. There's no way around that. He can't talk his way out of that. But then Daniel had the final shot when he said, you know, oh, you're walking. He goes, no, I'm going to go find a couple of dudes to punch you guys in the face. I was like, oh, that was more than I'm going to find two guys to fight you. I'm going to find two guys to punch you in the face. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. That's a little more okay. Now, who he found to punch him in the face, half of it's excited about, half of it I'm not, but we'll get into that by the main event. But we'll talk about that later.
Wonder which half you're talking
about. Yeah. We had a Pulp Fashion.
Yes, we did.
Oh, my God. We love gluten.
That was funny.
We love gluten. And I love, you know, I want to see the Ascension in the ring, but I like the idea of them just want to be friends with Breezango. Oh, my God. We just want to be friends. Be friends with us.
They need to do some in the ring. Connor needs to get in the ring.
Yeah.
He'd be eating them donuts on set a little bit too much.
God, that was funny.
They are hilarious.
Oh, my God. That whole segment, the whole, you know, you got to hit him in the heart and the spot and everything. And I'm not allergic to pickles. That roll was horrible. It was gluten-free. We love gluten. I'm like, oh, my Lord.
Even the week before when they were running down, the Usos were running down a list of tag team challengers.
Yeah.
And they said Breezango, something disparaging about Breezango. Or New Day was like, no, Breezango's cool.
Yeah.
So,
everybody knows it. They're over
they really are. They get a lot of props.
And those skits are
we never liked them at first, but now they've grown on us. It's funny how that comes around.
Because the skits are funny.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of thing where I want him in the ring.
But we know what Tyler can do in the ring.
Oh, I know what Tyler can do in the ring.
He just has to be given an opportunity.
But those skits are just hysterical. And they're great. And again, that's one of the things I look forward to on SmackDown now.
Yeah.
Is I watch SmackDown every week to watch to see what they do. Whereas if they did it on both shows, it wouldn't be as special. Having it on one show does make you go, ooh, I want to see this.
Yeah.
And it fits on SmackDown because of who's over there. It's so much fun though. I would like to see them diversify a little bit more. and I'd almost like to see them bring in the Ascension stuff is funny, but I would like to see them different teams or even people. Like you could do a skit with Bobby Roode one day. You could do a skit with Jinder.
Yeah.
Like there's so much you could do the Singh Brothers. Like they really need to start diversifying out where make it so that the Fashion Files become more a SmackDown show.
Yeah.
Where every week they screw with somebody different in some way, or even they try to involve that person in this investigation that we clearly know is the Bludgeon Brothers now because they keep talking about it enough. And we'll talk about that in a second too. But I would like to see them more expanding out, especially after the Bludgeon Brothers come out and they fight with Branzango and that thing. But I would like to see it stay around where you could do things with Ziggler, you could do things with KO.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine KO, like I could just see, okay, I'll give you an example of what I want to see. KO walks into his locker room and Branzango's there. He doesn't realize he's on the Fashion File, and it's just them with the light going, KO, we have some questions for you. And KO's like, what the hell? Like him just being himself going, I'm not talking to you two. What's the problem? Like playing it off like he has no idea what's going on and them just continuing questioning and him just walking out.
Yeah.
Like the comedy you could have in those would be hysterical.
That it would be.
So we have the Bludgeon Brothers.
We have a Cricket's soundbite.
Oh, God.
Moment of silence for the Bludgeon Brothers.
Oh.
Your career is officially over.
Rowan. That's what kills me right there. When they say their names like this really raspy, Rowan.
Oh,
oh
it was so bad.
And then they hit something phantom with the hammers.
It was just like a Thor Game of Thrones like rip off.
Oh, it was so bad.
It's not good.
It was so bad. It was so
This is your this is your official last ditch effort.
Yep.
Before your future endeavor.
Yeah, should have never broken.
Because you've been repackaged twice, 3 times actually.
More than that. Yeah.
Harper's been
a couple times.
Yeah, this is your third run at it. So if you don't get this right, you ain't gonna be around much longer.
Okay, so apparently I was wrong. Apparently Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable are really a team.
Yeah.
I didn't think this would last, but holy crap, they're still in there. And how is Shelton Benjamin the fourth person in this group? Because it seems like he's Chad keeps running his mouth and Usos running their mouth now as they're going after the Usos. And Benjamin just sort of stands there and goes, I
think they're kind of reintroducing him to the crowd because a lot of people may not know who he is because he hasn't been there in 12 years.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people are like, who is this guy? You know, the younger guy, people that don't know. He never was a big talker anyway, though. Even in his heyday, he never really...
Yeah, because Kurt did a lot of the talking when they were the world's greatest tag team.
Him and Haas did all the talking. Like, Shelton really never talked that much.
All right. So then we had Jinder Mahal come out and make the dumbest challenge in the history of wrestling.
I think it's great.
You think it's great?
I think it's great.
He's going to get his ass handed to him.
He shouldn't.
How?
Have the same brother. Have him cheat.
He's going to. He's still going to get killed.
He needs to win. Who needs it? It doesn't hurt Lesnar.
No.
Who needs this win more than Jinder?
If Jinder beats Lesnar.
Can you imagine what that would do for him?
That would be huge.
That's why he needs to win. This was the greatest thing ever for him to say, you know what? I'm going, you guys don't take me seriously. I'm going for the best there is right now in our company. I'm going straight for the beast. If I beat him, you can't deny me as being a great champion anymore.
I will say this, though. As much as I don't like titles not being defended at pay-per-views.
This is great.
But if you're going to do a Survivor Series and you're going to have champion versus champion, no titles on the line, just Raw champion versus SmackDown
and that's why
champion,
he can afford to win.
I love this idea.
He has to win this.
My concern is
that he gets squashed, it kills the title.
Well, no. Actually, my other concern is this, is now we're obviously adding AJ into the mix. I don't want AJ involved in the match. I don't think
he will be.
I don't want AJ to either...
I think he gets his rematch with Baron.
I hope so, because I don't want, like, I know what they're building towards. They're building towards AJ and Jinder
Royal
for
Rumble.
December.
Probably.
Well, no, I think it's going to be December, because they need something big for December.
Yeah.
But I don't want AJ to show up at
TLC?
Survivor Series. No, Survivor Series.
That's right.
And somehow get involved in the match and either cost Lesnar the match or cost Jinder the match. I don't want that. Like, I don't think
you'll see that, because
I hope not.
if someone were to cost Lesnar the match, it's probably going to set up a match with him down the road.
Yeah.
So Singh brothers, or if they want to do it, that would be a great way to introduce Lesnar's next challenger. Have somebody cost him the match. He doesn't lose the title.
Yeah.
He lost to Goldberg of all people. So
Yeah.
it's not like he can't take the loss.
And it's going to be champion versus champion. I mean, we're going to get it on Raw, but we know what's coming. Lesnar's going to accept.
This would skyrocket Jinder. His title reign would benefit immensely from him winning.
And you know what? And I will say this, and
because everything points to him getting his ass kicked.
Oh yeah, totally.
So it would be the perfect way for him to gain more credibility. You're going up against AJ Styles. I beat Brock Lesnar. You never beat him.
Yeah.
So
I poo-pooed Jinder as a champion, and he's really grown on me.
He's made me a believer.
He has totally made me a believer, and I thought this was a joke. And I got to say,
I didn't think it would last 30 days.
No.
I thought he'd be like Zack Ryder, like a week long.
Well, not even that. Is I thought if he did last this long, by now I'd be like, please, somebody beat him.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't. Even if he goes against AJ, I kind of want him to keep the belt. Because he's really good as this arrogant sort of champion of going, ha, 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 ha. And when he does lose, he's the kind of champion where if you're going to do this, right, you build it up, and whoever he wrestles at WrestleMania, that's where he loses.
To my point, that's why he has to win this match.
Yeah, he needs to build up. Okay, that makes sense. He needs to get to WrestleMania and lose there because then it's huge.
But you spent a good 8-9 months building him up. Even when he eventually loses it, now you can put him in main event matches.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So if he beats Lesnar, he has nothing to lose. He beats Lesnar, he's definitely the performer of the year, whatever they call that on the Slammies. He's the
superstar
of the year. Yeah. Like he beats Lesnar and wins a WWE title. No one thought he would be even on the roster. Like it's one of the greatest stories.
He's almost been featured endeavored so many times.
He can cheat.
Besides the fact
he's never going to beat him clean. Have him cheat. Have some kind of stipulation. No DQ. Whatever you want to do. Jinder has to win that for credibility.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. I mean, we've got a month to build it up. So
I
we'll see where we go.
I think he should win for sure.
All right. So then we had the rematch of Bobby Roode versus Dolph Ziggler.
They were killing Bobby Roode already.
Yeah, I don't like how they're doing it.
First of all, making him a face was a mistake.
Yep. He needs to be a heel.
His character
He's
doesn't
struggling.
His character doesn't have that because there's minimal interaction with the crowd except when he says glorious.
Yeah.
So he really, the way he has his interviews, it's a very self-absorbed style. His character.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It doesn't have that character depth yet for him to be able to be a face. And it's like he got thrown into that trying to replace Cena as a top face, and he's not there.
And I know he can go, and that's the problem.
That ain't the issue.
He's another talent that I know can
go. He's not getting nearly the pops I thought he would get.
But I agree. I think they're booking him wrong. He should have come in as a heel, attacking the faces. Like honestly, his first feud should have been with AJ
or Cena.
Well, Cena's not around.
I'm saying he should have stayed around and let him, do the honors first. But
he should have come in against AJ, honestly, because you could have built up. Because this is the thing is everybody knows that AJ and Roode have past history in other companies, and when you don't have to necessarily acknowledge it straight out, he could have come out and said to AJ, "You know who I am.
Yeah,
I know who you are, and I know you're a fraud." Like you could play it up like the idea of, "I know who you are. I know how to beat you, and then you have all these people faked out.
Yeah."
I know AJ Styles, and I'm going to prove it to you. That's how you bring him out. You bring him as a heel, and you let him go. And because then you build them both up, because you know they can run together.
Yeah, for sure.
And it could have been great.
I would have been like, I would have thought, I lost my NXT title, I'm coming to take yours.
Yep.
And come straight for the top.
And he didn't. Yeah.
And I think it's hurt him already.
Okay. So then our main event was, Daniel went out and found two guys who could punch him in the face. That's what he said. So we had Sammy and KO versus Shinsuke Nakamura, who can punch people in the face, and Randy Orton.
Oh, who people would like to punch in the face.
Oh, God, why? That match was horrible, by the way. The only thing that saved it was KO and Sammy making fun of it, and then at the end of the show coming out and going, "Yeah, we beat you. Yeah. Ha ha, we beat you." And then going to Daniel going, "We beat your guys."
Yeah.
That was the only thing that made that match interesting. The match itself was horrible.
Randy's
floundering.
Yeah, he's floundering. He's even publicly stated he wants to turn heel, which that's how you know he really don't care.
Yeah,
because they never really say that publicly.
Nope.
He tweeted that he can't wait to turn heel again. And I think he's just kind of going through the motions right now as a face.
I think he's going through the motions no matter what. I don't think it has to do with anything with doing a face or a heel.
He doesn't like being a face, and unfortunately, it affects the way he performs.
Oh, totally.
Because you can just tell he has no interest in pandering to the crowd.
I've been saying it for weeks. He's phoning it in, and you can watch it.
Yeah, it's not good.
All right, so SmackDown. Okay, it was a better show than Raw.
Yeah,
because Raw sucked. Again, but it's sad because Raw had truly really good matches. SmackDown didn't have great matches, but the show itself was more coherent.
Yeah.
You know, the story through with KO and Sammy makes that show good right now.
Yeah.
And Jinder challenging Lesnar. And we'll find out more on Monday because Lesnar's going to show up to talk about the Jinder thing.
Yep.
So, all right. So, what we get to do.
Pick a pay-per-view.
Now, Irish, like I said, is not feeling well, so he didn't send us their picks, so we'll probably add him in later online, but you and I will go ahead and pick ours. I'll go first just because Irish isn't here, so I'll pick mine first. We'll go ahead and start with Alexa Bliss defending her Women's Raw Championship versus Mickie James. I don't see any reason to take the belt off Alexa right now in any way. Not anything against Mickie James. I just don't see her as a credible champion unless they're going to build up to her against Asuka, which I'm not even sure is a good match to begin with.
Well, they fought a couple of years ago, and it was pretty good.
Yeah. So
that being said, I don't think they pulled the trigger yet.
Yeah.
I think she'll have one last run. I don't think she wins it now, though.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going Alexa on this
All right.
one.
On that note, we will talk about, I'm assuming I know where we're going with this one, Asuka versus Emma.
So we need to pick this one?
I'm assuming that Asuka just goes out there and beats the living schnizzles out of Emma.
This won't last 5 minutes.
No, actually, this is the thing is okay, so you haven't watched as much of Asuka as myself and JB and Irish have. Asuka is not, I don't want to, she's like a cat in this. She doesn't tear through opponents. She likes to make them suffer. No, she'll beat the crap out of you and not pin you to beat the crap out of you more. She did it to Bayley. She's done it to other people. She's already beaten somebody, but she'll just go the extra mile. She likes to put on a show. So as much as I want to say, and you agree that this would be a tear-through match, that's not Asuka's style. And Asuka's going to play with her.
But keep in mind now, they're not going to book her like they did in NXT.
True. So we'll see what happens.
So and it depends on how much time they're going to give her for that match. So
could be.
I don't see a long match.
No.
So that's why I say maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah, it could be.
But I definitely, Asuka's going to kill her.
All right. So then we have the Brian Kendrick versus gentleman Jack Gallagher.
No, they're partners.
Oh, yeah. In a tag team match.
Heel turn that we never knew about.
Yeah, because it happened on 205, and, and no one watches 205. Remember that? Against Rich Swann.
My guy.
Yeah,
Rich Swann.
and Alexander.
You know what? Cedric has one of the best finishers
in
WWE.
Yeah.
That little backbreaker he does is very cool to watch.
And that's why I think they're gonna win, because I think this is gonna be the match where the faces win.
Who's the champion? Oh,
there is no champion. They're just tag teaming it.
No, I'm just thinking they're having a title match later that night.
We haven't gotten to that yet.
Yeah, I say the faces go over.
Yeah, I think this is a classic example of the faces going over. I mean, and I like Gallagher and I like Kendrick, but I think this is a classic
Even
example.
though the faces won Monday, usually they like to go the other way. But
this also, I think this might be the palate cleanser before the main event.
Possibly.
So usually at that point, they want the faces to go over to kind of clear the win. So next up, we have the Cruiserweight Championship where Kalisto will defend his title versus Enzo Amore.
Who I really cannot stand, by the way.
Enzo Amore. Oh my God. I like him, and his character is getting annoying as shit.
Yeah,
I can't take it.
Yeah.
Because he says the same thing over and over again.
When literally, if I DVR the show and I have to watch, I can't listen to his interviews.
Yeah, that's horrible.
It irks my nerves.
That being said, Kalisto's going to win. They're not. I'm hoping they're not playing hot potato.
I'm going in Enzo.
You're going Enzo. All right, that was the first one we're switching on. All right,
I'm thinking that he's going to win it back. He clearly is the face of the cruiserweight division.
Oh well, yeah, especially with now with Neville gone.
Yeah, I think he'll win with help from his friends, and then I think Cedric will be the next in line.
That was the weird part is 2 weeks ago, no one wanted to be associated with him, and now he's got Gulick and Nolan Barr and
keep up.
Other people that are now forming a little heel faction inside of 205.
I just like the fact they're giving him time on Raw to just at least develop something.
Yeah,
but you got to get people watching the show if you're going to keep it around. So.
We'll
give them a reason to watch.
All right, so in the gimmick match of the night, which is sad because it's TLC and there's another gimmick match, but in the real gimmick match of the night, we have the Demon taking on the cross-dresser, Sister Abigail.
Cross-dresser?
What else do you call it? The Demon is at least a guy. Finn has always said he, and now we have Sister Abigail, who obviously when he comes out, he's going to have some kind of weird spooky music.
I don't even know what you go first.
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm going to this is
crew. I don't know anything these days, so
I'm going to pick your Sister Abigail only because Bray has to win a match eventually, and if it's not really him wrestling, so maybe this is the gimmick he finally wins with. I don't know. He has lost to Balor. What, 3 pay-per-views in a row or 2 pay-per-views in a row? Two in a row. 2 in a row. This is a third match. This is a rubber match that no one wants.
Yeah, exactly.
But we're getting it anyways. Sister Abigail has to go over.
You would think.
Yeah.
I'm going Finn.
You're going Finn.
I just don't have faith that they're going to let Bray win a match. Plus, I think that Finn's going to move up into the title picture after this.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, he definitely can't afford to lose here. Especially as a Demon. So I say Finn goes over and goes on to bigger and better things.
All right. So on to the main event of the video. This is a very sparse card. I mean, there's a pre-show match with Alicia Fox and I'm not getting that. The only thing I'm hopeful for is right now there's only 6 matches on this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Which means I'm assuming that the TLC match is going to be a long match.
That's why it gives me a reason to believe that someone like The Undertaker may show up.
Yeah, it's going to be a long match.
That would be a great lead in to Survivor Series.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
So we have The Shield, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns taking on The Miz, The Bar, Braun Strowman, and Kane in a TLC match. Which is basically just an anything goes match. Handicap anything goes match because anything possible. This is where I'm really torn in this match. And and honestly, I'm going to make a pick in a minute that if you ask me, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to talk myself into it. Do you have the Shield win as the feel good comeback? We came back and we're going to do it. But I don't think that's going to happen because of this. I think they're going to use this to either lead in Survivor Series or to something else. And I think The Miz, The Bar, Strowman, and Kane are going to win because it puts stress on the Shield to try to come back. If the Shield wins to defeat these 5 guys, they've already sustained their great faction. That's not a problem. There is no follow-up. If you have the Shield lose, the Shield has incentive to move on again. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think this is the last night we're going to see the Shield. And I think going into Survivor Series, if you're really Survivor Series around Jinder versus Lesnar, and now you can have the Shield and maybe, like, I go this way. I think the Shield will pick up 2 other members, possibly, and that'll be your Survivor Series, traditional Survivor Series match will be The Miz, The Bar, Strowman, and Kane versus the Shield and like AJ and somebody else, or Shinsuke or something else, in a traditional Survivor Series match instead of roster versus roster, which is what I really want.
Yep.
But I see no other reason to have this match except for that, is have the faces lose and the Shield get beat. Plus, it's unbeatable odds. I'm sorry, with Strowman and Kane, you're kind of screwed anyways.
I'm going to take the opposite approach.
Okay.
And I'm banking on the rumor maybe coming true with. I think this would be a perfect time for them to bring Taker in to actually help Roman Reigns win as a show of kind of respect and kind of help Roman get over that hump of people hating him because he quote unquote retired the Undertaker.
Oh yeah.
So if you kind of like came in and helped him pass the torch
So
type
you
of deal.
think he's going to come in to attack Kane and Strowman and all that?
Not necessarily attack, but I think he would help. He may go after Kane as a one, right off into the sunset feud for both of them. They may go out together. You know what I mean? That would be the perfect way for them to retire is to go out at the same time. I think he comes in some form or fashion, gets involved, and that will lead into that Survivor Series match.
I can see the Shield
and then him kind of giving Roman his blessing and, kind of helping smooth that over with the fans to kind of help solidify Roman as a face because I think there still was some resentment there.
Oh, yeah, there's totally.
So I can see Vince doing that to try to help get that because they love the Shield, but he still gets booed.
Oh, yeah.
So they got to find a way to smooth that over to where he gets back as a face.
And the traditional Survivor Series match is actually 4-on-4. So you could do the Shield and Taker versus like the Miz, the Bar, and Kane.
And then you can protect him in that match so he doesn't have to take a
totally.
bunch of,
you could totally protect him.
Yeah.
And you could protect him in two ways. Number one, you can protect him is you've got three other guys that go in there.
Yeah.
And the other nice thing is you have people in that match on the other side that know how to work with, because Miz has worked with Taker before, and Kane knows how to work with Taker. So you would have that ability to say, okay, we can work with this match, and these guys could wrestle Taker and not make it look horrible.
No.
So we'll see what happens. It's gonna be an interesting pay-per-view. I think it's gonna set up some things for Survivor Series.
I mean, I can see the Shield losing also and them recruiting somebody like Undertaker to help them.
In a Survivor Series match?
So, I mean, it could go either way, but I think they're going to win.
I think Strowman is the odd man out if they do a Survivor Series match, though, because I think The Miz, The Bar, and Kane make a better team. I think because Strowman doesn't need this, though. That's the thing is Strowman can go off on his own.
Strowman despises Roman Reigns.
I understand
so
that.
That's reason enough for him to be. This is like the Orton Cena feud from like back in their heyday.
Oh, I think this is gonna be a long term.
So
I think this is. I
every
agree
chance they get to pair them together because they have great chemistry.
Oh, they do.
So like I don't like keep it going because you're not going to pull the trigger on a world title unless Joe comes back soon.
I didn't think of Joe.
It's about time for him to show up.
Yeah, he's supposed to come back real soon.
So maybe he gets thrown into there somehow.
As the fifth member,
possibly
kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, I could see. But again, usually Survivor Series matches are 4-on-4. Not to mean they can't do a 5-on-5. I mean, they can do it the hell they feel like they've done it before.
Yeah, they've done 5-on-5s before.
Yeah, they need, but it needs to be a nice elimination match. They need at least one.
They will. Yeah.
Now, normally
from each show.
Yeah, and that's either show. Well, it used to be when they used to do these. The old brands, but it used to be the one Survivor Series match was Raw versus SmackDown. But
I think they'll have their own.
Yeah, I don't think we're building to that.
No,
there's not enough.
There's no cross branding.
There's no cross branding.
Yeah,
and you've already set up the whole Lesnar and Jinder as your only
because you already got on the SmackDown side. You got KO and Sammy. They're going to be the have their team against the Shane McMahon's picks. You already see that coming.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, yeah, you already got that set up in stone.
All right. Well, if you were to... Okay, let's play a little... I know we're a little early. So if you were to put Shane... Or let's say you do a 4-on-4 for that. So you could do KO and Sammy. I'm trying to think what else you'd put in that group. You could do the Usos.
You could.
And then you could have New Day and like somebody like
Jericho.
If Jericho came back.
Would be good.
Yeah. Well, no. If you were to put this is my I'm going on current booking, not using Jericho. I'm thinking if you were to do Sammy and KO and the Usos on one side, then the other four would be like you could do AJ, Shinsuke, or Orton and Shinsuke, and then the two guys in the New Day. That would be your four.
Yeah,
that would fit into the current booking style they're using of those guys.
Yeah,
so, I mean, we'll see.
I can see that playing out.
Yeah. All right. But we'll see. So we've got a couple matches. We've got Enzo and Kalisto and Sister Abigail, and then the main event. So we've got 3 matches that you and I disagree on. So that's good. So we'll actually have a winner. We won't tie. I was worried about just the two of us.
Yeah.
That we were going to end up in a tie. So
no, somebody's got to win.
Somebody's got to win. I would like to thank Jack's Abbey for your beautiful Framinghammer coffee bourbon barrel aged Baltic porter. God, that was good.
It was really good.
I wish I had bought more. I know I can go back to Total Wine. That's where I bought it around here and get some more. I will be buying a bottle of that.
Good stuff.
This is the kind of stuff where I'm going to buy probably 2 more, and I'm going to sit on one. I'm going to sit in my closet for at least 6 months. Is this thickening up and getting older?
Yeah.
By the way, another update. My pumpkin ale, which is my 3rd home brew, is upstairs brewing right now.
Nice.
So hopefully, maybe we'll have a mini review on that when it gets ready.
Very cool.
About 3 weeks. I'm going to bottle it this coming weekend. I think
the last one turned out really well.
Yeah, and then a couple weeks of aging, and then maybe it won't be the beer of the week, but maybe we'll do like a little mini sampling on the show as I try to learn how to brew my own beer because I'm insane.
It's a task.
When you're ready to put your beer down.
Beer, you're so dumb. I'm gonna walk out on you like Neville.
Oh God, that's horrible. Make sure you hit over to vintagepressing.com, vintagepressing.com, where you can get drink coasters, luggage tags, drink coasters, and more.
Follow us on the Untapped app. You can find out what we're all drinking. I'm pretty sure Iris isn't drinking anything because he doesn't feel well, but you can follow me at Good OLJB, and you can follow him at The Irish O'Leary.
You can follow me as I am currently 5 away from 800.
Wow, really? I don't even know where I'm at.
5 away from 800 at Mr. Fluffy. You can also follow us on Facebook at Beers and Body Slams Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at Beers Body Slams because Jinder Mahal took our and to India and never returned with it. Because the modern name Maharaja doesn't need to give us an example of anything.
Exactly. So that was a good show. Any closing thoughts?
No. We said tune in Monday. We're going to talk about sort of the talent that's left. Neville and Austin Aries, people that maybe have left, and like what's going on and how we can fix it. I'm more excited about TLC than I was about Hell in a Cell. The Hell in a Cell pay-per-view did not thrill me.
No, it wasn't.
And I'm not even really thrilled about TLC, but there's some good matches on here. I think Alexa versus Mickey could be really good.
Has potential, yeah.
Obviously, the Shield match could be good. And honestly, the Kendrick and Gallagher match versus... they
were a good team.
That's
Swan
and... that could be a really interesting little tag team. So we'll see what happens. But make sure you tune in Monday. And as always... make sure you keep your pint glasses full and your body slam stiff.
You've been listening to the Beers and Body Slams podcast. Find us online at beersandbodyslams.com and on Facebook at facebook.com/Beers and Body Slams podcast. Until next time.
Have a nice day.